Realtors tend to get a really bad rep, and it's not surprising because they charge so much for what they do. I mean, I'm a California realtor. The median price of a home in California right now is like $880,000. Most realtors in my state charge someone 2.5% to help them buy a home. That's $22,000 to help you buy a home when you're doing most of the work yourself using Redfin or Zillow to find open houses and go check houses out. So I started wondering, what are realtors doing with all of this money? And fortunately, I found some data on it. Today, we're looking at the 2024 member profile published by NAR, the National Association of Realtors. Now, this is a survey that NAR puts out every year. And what's cool is it comes up with lots of data about realtors, who they are, what their ages are, how much money they make, etc. What I also really love about this publication is how many excited, smiling faces we get on all the pages. Like, look at this woman excited to make a phone call about real estate. Oh man, I bet you'd love to know what that realtor is showing those two home buyers on that iPad. Okay, but let's get serious. We're looking at Chapter 3, Income and Expenses of Realtors. And specifically, we're looking at expenses. How do realtors spend the money that you give them? I took a deep dive into the stats and I found some pretty interesting things. And what we're going to look at in this video is the median realtor. For example, here we have total real estate business expenses in 2023, and the median realtor spent $8,450 on their real estate business. Looking at how that number breaks down reveals some pretty interesting things about these realtors. Okay, so first and foremost, there are a number of categories in which the median realtor spends $0. Here are the $0 categories. First up, we have office leases. Not shocking. Work from home, that's the trend. Realtors don't need offices, they're on the road, they're working from home. Cool. Next, we have virtual meetings and conferences. Again, not a shocker. I think I paid for one virtual conference, and after that experience, I will never pay for one again. Next, lead gen. So all you YouTube bros out there thinking you're gonna start your own agency and hook up realtors with leads, the median realtor will pay you $0 for that service. And lastly, and this is the one that I love, the category is called affinity/referral relationships. So this is basically money spent on past clients, and the median realtor spends $0 connecting with their past clients. So look, when you're out there looking for a realtor to work with and they talk a big game about how they'll be in your life forever and they'll help you through the entire life cycle of being a homeowner, I wouldn't bet a lot of money on that being the case. In fact, I would bet $0 on that being the case for the median realtor. Okay, so those are our $0 expenses. Next, I want to jump straight to the biggest single expense for the median realtor, and that is business use of vehicle. And the median realtor spends a whopping $1,650 per year on the business use of their vehicle. And of course, I'm not surprised. One of a realtor's main jobs is to drive around their market and show homes to prospective buyers. I personally have taken a different approach with my real estate business. If you're in California, you can learn more at www.buywithblueprint.com. I myself don't do showings, and that allows me to charge my clients not 2.5%, but just 1%. And if a client needs a scheduled showing, I arrange it for a $50 fee. Obviously, open houses, you can go to all you want. I get rid of my biggest business expense so that my California homebuyers don't have to pay it. Learn more at www.buywithblueprint.com. Okay, before we get to the good stuff, now let's run through a couple of expenses that actually aren't so crazy, aren't so remarkable. So, technology, and this covers products and services. That bill comes out to $670 per year. That's about $56 per month. That makes sense. You need to host a website. You need a computer. Next, in-person travel. Now, this is not the same as use of a vehicle. So this has to do with like flying somewhere to go to a conference. And this comes out to $280 a year for the median realtor, which again makes sense. I'd say this is about half the cost of a weekend trip to another city to go to a conference. So the median realtor probably goes to a conference every other year. Yeah. And lastly, professional services. This total comes out to $410 per year. This makes sense. So professional services includes like accountants, and realtors are technically self-employed, so they have self-employment tax. It's just like a kind of more annoying and difficult tax return to file. So just an accountant for a real estate agent is probably going to cost this much. I'm sure some realtors also hire lawyers and other professionals. The only professional I hire is my accountant, and this is about what it costs per year for her to do my taxes. Okay, next up, we're going to look at a couple of WTF expenses. What the fuck expenses? Looking at these, the first one, I don't understand. The second one, I totally understand, but you should understand it too because it's kind of a what the fuck expense. First up, administrative. And the median realtor in a year will spend $850 on administrative expenses. Now, I don't really know exactly what is meant by administrative expenses. What comes to mind is a position in real estate called a transaction coordinator. So when a realtor is helping you buy a house, they actually hire someone else to handle all the paperwork. Transaction coordinator gets paid a couple $100s per transaction. And I would guess that that's the bulk of this administrative expense. And one thing you have to watch out for when you're buying a home, you might be talking to a realtor and they say, oh, I'm going to charge you 2.5%. And then when you actually get the contract, it says 2.5% plus a $500 transaction fee. That $500 fee is going to the transaction coordinator. Don't agree to those fees. Your agent should be paying the transaction coordinator out of their commission. And the second WTF cost that realtors incur is business dues and fees, which for the median realtor comes out to a whopping $710 per year. Being a realtor costs money. The National Association of Realtors, whose information we're using, charges realtors hundreds of dollars a year for the privilege of being a realtor. More than your accountant, more than travel, more than your technology package, almost as much as your transaction coordinator. You're going to end up paying dues to the National Association of Realtors if you're a realtor. And I'm not saying this to say, you should feel sorry for your realtors. They have all these dues they have to pay. You should be paying your realtor lots of money so they can pay these dues. No. I'm just trying to show you what it looks like on the other side. Okay, now we're getting to some really good stuff. This is hilarious. Next up is the marketing money that the median realtor spends. And get this, for the marketing of listings, if a realtor is selling a home, for the marketing of listings, the median realtor is going to spend in a year $430. But for the marketing of services, the median realtor is going to spend in a year $780. And keep in mind, the marketing of services means the marketing of the realtor services, marketing of the realtor. So if you're selling a home and you're talking to a realtor about the marketing package they're going to put together for your home and how important achieving the highest price possible for your home is to them and how much marketing they're going to put behind your home, keep in mind that most realtors, let me rephrase that, the median realtor spends almost twice as much money marketing him or herself as he or she spends marketing his or her listings. That was a lot of pronouns. I don't know. The job of being a realtor is mostly a job of accruing clients. This is what realtors don't want lay people to understand. The hard part of the job is getting clients. That's why the marketing money goes into marketing one's own services to get the clients. And about half that amount of money goes into marketing the homes that the realtors are actually selling. But that's not the most ridiculous thing. The next and final expense category is the most ridiculous of all. The last expense category, and I've saved this one for last because to me, this is the most revealing expense category of the whole report and tells you almost everything you need to know about realtors. Our final category is professional development. And the median realtor spends in a year on professional development a whopping $830. That's more money than they spend marketing themselves, more money than they pay in dues, more money than they spend on professional services, more money than travel, more money than technology. Only business use of vehicle and administrative expenses are higher than the amount of money spent by the median realtor on professional development. And what is professional development, guys? I hate to tell you this, but in the world of real estate, it's a lot of BS classes about how to win friends and influence people. It's not all mindset self-help stuff, but there's a lot of how to win on social media, how to kill it in 2025, how to market to your sphere of influence. And realtors spend a lot of money on this stuff. But look, my philosophy is simple. I focus on the data. I make content that is useful for people. And for those that want to buy or sell a house with me, I try to make it as inexpensive for them as possible. Subscribe to the channel for lots of market updates. I cover everything California real estate. And stay tuned because the video I'm working on now, that should be up in maybe like 2-3 weeks, is going to expose the scam underneath all of these realtor shenanigans.